Welcome to another Sounds of ERA podcast. My name is Edward Johnson, a.k.a. Eddie, and I'm the president of InfoEd International. I'm here today with Hilda Alajajian. She is from the University of Vermont, and she is a grants resources specialist. And she's been there for about 11 years. Hello, Hilda.
Hi, Eddie. Good to talk with you today.
What have you seen, Hilda, with your university's response to sequestration? I know it's kind of just been in place. Clearly it's been all over the news and everybody's talking about it, but there also hasn't been a tremendous amount of tangible things that have necessarily hit, but certainly it's this financial black hole, if you will, that's looming on the horizon. Have you found that investigators now are getting nervous and maybe seeking you out more than they normally would to kind of plug those holes?
Well, that certainly is a concern that we're all individually feeling, if not talking about with each other in great detail. And I'm sure that the more we find out, the more things will come to light and surface as far as how it's affecting us here at University of Vermont. I do know and have heard that some of the investigators are taking some measures to be more careful with how quickly they're spending their money. They're spending it down maybe a little more stringently, not knowing exactly how they're going to be affected. But on the positive note, too, I've heard of a couple of investigators who just recently were awarded fairly good-sized federal grants. I think we still need a little more time to see how this all shakes out and how it affects us. As far as people beating down our doors, not an avalanche, but I am getting a steady number of people interested in other sources and wanting my help to get them hooked up with the tools so that they can identify other sponsors. So yes, I think we're feeling it. We're not sure exactly how it's going to affect us in each and every case. It is on people's minds.
Now, I'm curious to see, from what I've read, and I've been trying to keep track of it, but a lot of it at this point is just kind of scuttlebutt, that the federal agencies on the funding side anyway appear to be going down around maybe between 3 and 5% based upon who you speak to.
As you know, and as a lot of the investigators know now, their traditional tried and true sources are drying up, especially with the federal funds also shrinking. I'm also finding that some of the more seasoned investigators who in the past haven't needed them are also coming to. There's all kinds of faculty out there that are finding that the funding databases are really helpful.
I hope as things evolve, and I'd be curious to see when sequestration really hits, if that affects anything or really people start pounding down your door now because they need your help more than ever. I'd be very curious to see how that unfolds.
Yeah, I'm curious too. Like you said, I get alerts saying that this agency has decided on how they're going to do it. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not really on top of how many people get NIH grants, how many people get EPA grants, and so forth. How many are in an area that's going to be affected, but say another area from that same federal agency is not going to be affected. So it's really going to be, like you say, interesting to see. I'm sure it's going to have an effect. I'm sure it is.
This has been fantastic, Hilda. I hope you're willing to do another one of these if time permits or there's things that are topical. Thanks again. This is fantastic.
All right, Eddie. Thanks for asking.